Clark had to deal with when they were stuck at the coast, but unlike them, our clothes are not rotting away, so we've got that going for us, which is nice.
Definitely.
So we've got a lot of benefits that Lewis and Clark obviously didn't have. Whereas for them, when they were traveling down the Willamette River with the current behind them, they'd make 50 to 60 miles, 70 on a good day.
Now, because we have this wonderful Pioneer Express, we're able to go 6.3 miles in about 20-25 minutes. So the efficiency of our journey is already much more efficient than Lewis and Clark's.
Yeah, but we couldn't have done that if obviously they hadn't mapped out the area and all that jazz. So props to them.
So, as you can see, we have the conveniences of paved sidewalks, and all this makes it a lot easier for us to travel than it did for Lewis and Clark to do their journey. But we do have the problem with all this rain, and it's making life miserable for us like it did for them.
We have arrived at our destination, Oregon Historical Society.
So, the Lewis and Clark expedition moved through the Nez Perce territory down the Columbia River, traveling at a rate of about 30, 40, 50 miles per day with the currents at their backs. They went past the Multnomah Native American tribe, which our county is named after, ending up at the mouth of the Columbia River and wintering at Cape Disappointment.
Which I've been there, and yes, it is just as disappointing as it sounds. Here at the Oregon Historical Society, we found a list of books that Lewis and Clark had on their journey, several of which were mentioned in our adventure in the Special Collections Department of the library. So interesting that the Historical Society would mention the same thing.
Okay, so Lewis and Clark, they get to the end of the Columbia River. They're at the mouth. They're waiting for a ship like one of these, who would be going up and down the Pacific Northwest coast trying to trade for sea otter pelts, because this was a really rare luxury just abroad. Unfortunately for Lewis and Clark, they didn't see a single ship. So instead of being able to be boated back or even gather new supplies, they had to make the journey back with what they had.
So, these are portraits of our famous explorers. We have Meriwether Lewis, who was personally chosen by Thomas Jefferson because he was a neighbor, and William Clark, who was chosen by Lewis because Clark was Lewis's commanding officer. They acted as equals on the voyage, and look what they accomplished.
So do you know who the statue is?
Yes.
What's his name?
York.
Yes, perfect. Do you know what he did on the trip?
He was Clark's slave?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And yeah, I mean, that's it.
I mean, things to know about York. He also got a vote on their trip back, but he was really important to the trip, and he really meant something. He was cool.
But afterwards, he
Transitioned
allegedly, he went off to live with a Native American tribe, some sort of thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks.
So our journey ends. Like Lewis and Clark, we only lost one person during the course of our journey. Ellie is nowhere to be found. She's lost to the city. Unlike Lewis and Clark, however, we are making our journey home in a much faster rate than they would have with their canoes and traveling across the mountain. But it took them many months, would take us 20-ish minutes. With that, have a good one.
Hey, I figured it out. I'm pretty sure. Sam, say something.
Heyo.
Give me like a countdown.
Does your lens not? Oh. Does your actual thing not work?
What do you mean?
I can't look through.
No, I don't use that. This not when you're video recording. That's what you use when you're video recording. All the way to Multnomah Indians. Shit, I said.